Hey y'all, we're back. We need a name in this. It's like Brooke and Bell. Brooke Thomas, Sean Bell, we're back to talk a little bit about what y'all have been talking about. Okay, I mean, everybody's doing it. Everybody's tweeting about it. Why not? Right?
Yeah, we got to. We got to. And it's, Brooke and the Bell, I like it.
You like it? Okay, good. I like it
Yeah.
too.
Brooke and the Bell, B&B. We just talking
Little
about
alliteration for them. Okay,
exactly.
okay.
You know what I mean? It fits. I guess the first thing that we got to talk about is just this Meg Thee Stallion situation, Tory Lanez. I have no idea what's going on, to be honest with you. Like,
no, nobody does. Yeah.
The first reports are, okay, Meg Thee Stallion hurt her foot with some glass. That was the first report, and that.
But remember, the first report didn't. It was just she was in the car. He was arrested for gun possession while in the car with her.
She was in the car, but it said she had an injury to her foot with glass or something. Then it comes out that Megan Thee Stallion had several gunshot wounds, and Megan tweeted that out herself or put it on Instagram to say, "Yo, this is a serious situation. It's nothing to joke about. Some people were after me. I was shot a couple times." And then the next story to come out is that Tory Lanez was the one who shot her. Brooke, I don't know what to make of this. What's your thoughts?
I have no idea either, because like the reports that Tory shot her, those were the ones that are, they didn't come from him, the police, or her. They really came from rumors, right? And in her statement, she didn't say who did it. In the initial police report, he wasn't accused of that. And I think my focus is just this woman who, has been busting her butt. She's great. She's successful. She's very likable. She's at the top of her game right now, also at the beginning of her career. And she's been through a lot. Now, all of a sudden, she's been shot. And I don't know. I think she also tweeted later about how hurtful it was to see everybody making light of the situation and telling jokes. And I think that we don't know who shot her or what happened in that car. I just think that I imagine, there's this young woman who is struggling right now. And right? You feel bad for her, right?
I feel bad for her. But listen, you can't pay attention to the internet. The internet's going to get these jokes off regardless, right? Like, even in death, people find a way to get jokes off. So,
right.
Again, once people found out that this was a little bit more serious, that she was shot, then I think they started to take it serious, and the jokes didn't stop, but there was a lot less of them. But again, we just wish her the best, wish her love. But I want to be honest with you. One of the first things I thought was, well, shouldn't you be quarantining? What are we doing with these parties? Why are you all over the place clubbing? Like, danger happens in the summer when people have been cooped up and now they're partying. Go quarantine and sit y'all butts down and stop acting nuts. I know, thank God she's healthy. She got shot. But I'm going to be honest with you. That was my first thought in this entire thing. Can y'all quarantine? Can y'all stop it?
I do want everybody to quarantine, but they were coming back from a party at Kylie Jenner's house. They had been at the pool, which, right. But
exactly.
But if what everybody is, or what the reports are alluding to is true, she could have quite possibly still been shot at home. So, this is a situation where something happened to a woman that has nothing to do with her behavior. But yes, completely separate from that, I do want everybody to stop going to parties and stay at home in their own home.
Stay locked in. Stay home, stay locked in. But I don't want to make too much on it because, again,
we don't know anything.
And we don't know anything. I'm not gonna, and it's hard for me to. It's hard for me to believe. It's hard for me to believe that Tory Lanez shot her. Like, I know we don't know anything, but that is a very, like, wait a minute, like, they were rolling together, they got into an argument, and he just shot her. Like, as opposed to, she said in her statement that people who want to see her harmed came after her.
Yeah,
he was just partying and kicking it with Tory Lanez. Like, it's very harmful to put that out there.
That no domestic violence situation ever surprises me. Not anymore. So,
That's fair, but I'm just
yeah.
saying, is that what you think happened? Like, if you were to make a guess, that sounds right to you?
I think I read something on TMZ that said that she was being considered like she's obviously a victim in this. And the word domestic was used. And obviously, again, we don't know who the other person is, but I'm just saying, it's not hard for me to believe any person is capable of, you know, we've just seen it too much from too many surprising like people, because we just never know what goes on behind closed doors.
I got you. I just, for now, I'm not believing anything unless it comes
Right.
out of Meg's mouth or Tory Lane's mouth. Like, I'm not
I think that
believing,
that's a good
or the
way
police,
to
but
just,
even
yeah,
then,
just like respect like where Megan is in this and what she's saying. I think that's an okay way to like, yeah, we don't, I think that she told us what she told us for a reason. That's what she wanted everybody to know. That's what she's comfortable with, I think, right now. And I want to respect that too.
I got you. Well, the other big news for
We're on the
me,
same page.
yes, we're on the same page. The other big news for me was just Nick Cannon. And
Right.
this is right off of, because I'm in Philly, Deshaun Jackson saying what he said and quoting something that was attributed to Hitler, right? And that he thought was a Hitler quote. So
Right.
Deshaun Jackson goes nuts, quotes something on Hitler. He goes through the apology tour and does all the thing. And then Nick Cannon on his platform basically has
AI had to apologize too because he posted a picture with Minister Farrakhan. Did you see that?
Deshaun, yes.
No, Allen Iverson too.
Oh
He
yeah, yeah,
posted an
AI did,
apology.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then Nick Cannon goes ahead and has several words of, white people and Jewish people are savages, they're inferior animals, all these anti-Semitic things. And my first thought was, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, I can't even fathom or understand what you would be thinking in order to say these things and back these things up and then double down on it at one point. What's going on here?
So, you and me were talking about this before. There is a lack of understanding all around about other marginalized communities, right? But also there seems to be like not as strong of a desire to not cause harm to other marginalized community, and we're not racing to the top. Like, um, equality, it has like one definition, and so we don't move forward by stomping on another marginalized community. That's one part of it, because oppression, it has time and space for it all, and if we perpetuate one aspect of it, that just opens the door for it to come back for us. I don't know, so that's frustrating. And then also when people were talking about this after the fact, talking about like the need for the Jewish community and the Black community to come together, I that also feels like not inclusive, and also like ignoring the fact that like Judaism, it's a religion, which means that there are Black people who are also Jewish. And so just like the LGBTQ community is not separate from the Black community, the Jewish community isn't necessarily either, because if you speak about them as two separate communities, you erase the existence of our Black brothers and sisters who are also Jewish.
Yeah, and somewhere right now, unfortunately, Terry Crews is like,
Oh my God.
oh,
I don't know. Right.
this is what I'm talking about. Like, now all of a sudden you give that clown something to say and something to point to when it comes to Black supremacy, even though we know that's not a thing that anyone's asking for. But when comments
Right.
like that, when Nick Cannon comes out, then people are going to point to what Terry Crews say and say, look, see, like, it's just stupidity all the way around. And like you said,
All around.
and like you said, like, listen, like, there's a lot of nuances when it comes to racism. Like, everything isn't flat out. there's a lot of nuances in the discussion when it comes to the Jewish community and the Black community and any marginalized community when it comes to women, right? And
Yep.
people don't want to understand the nuances of someone else's struggle.
Right.
To
We like to play
understand,
oppression Olympics, and it's
yes,
hard not to because we only see our own struggle.
yes, to understand that, hey, there's certain rhetoric that in the past has gotten people in my community killed. Hey,
Right.
Hitler and certain people use this rhetoric in order to turn everyone against the Jewish community, in order to get them murdered. So if
And look
you
at the
use this
Nazis
rhetoric,
running around right now. They've had this like new breath like blown into them and they feel good. There was just the synagogue shooting, was it last year?
mhm,
That was nationals and it was in Pennsylvania, right? I think
I believe so.
so it's not even old stuff. Like you look at that and do you really want to be a part of that? Because
Mhm.
that's not how I went.
Yes, and it's almost like the way you use words sometimes, you need to
Yeah.
understand that maybe that word in itself isn't bad, but when you use it towards a community or use it in a certain phrase, that is deemed to be harmful. Like the word female, when men use that term towards women, they're trying to be disrespectful,
Yeah. It's also
right?
right
Like,
because you could always just say woman or girl.
yeah,
Right.
woman, females, they like, what's wrong? You know what you're trying to do.
I know, and
So
it's like, oh, great, Hotep hour, awesome. I didn't
exactly.
know it had
So
started.
it's those nuances that we need to understand. Okay, what are the words or the phrases that can be harmful to a community that people have used to marginalize them or kill them? We need to understand those words and understand those phrases and take that out of our lexicon.
Right. We don't. It helps no one to perpetuate hate against another group of people. And when people make mistakes, I think that doubling down, like you just got to be willing. I think everybody has to understand, right, that we are always going to be different from other people around us, and always have the ability to say the wrong thing, even if we're constantly educating ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Like you and me, we don't always get it right, but I do think we're two people who are constantly attempting to like educate ourselves about other people, and just knowing and understanding that you will always have the possibility, like the potential to get it wrong, right?
Mhm.
And you have to have the willingness to be called out. And I think for a lot of people that was the frustration too, is like I don't expect people to not be human and immediately just get it when someone says like, hey, that was bad. But I do wish more people were willing to accept that if you go in like knowing that you have the ability to get things wrong. And I'm talking about small mistakes because this was egregious.
Yeah.
But and be willing to be called out and be like, you know what, my bad. Like and have the desire to learn and not be that person anymore. People are more offended by being called racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic than they are ashamed of perpetuating that behavior. And that has to change.
And Nick Cannon came out and said he gave an apology, but he also
His
said,
second apology was fantastic.
yes, but he also said,
Great.
I don't know if you saw that, he said he reached out to uh the execs at Viacom to have a conversation, didn't get an answer back, and was sort of like, see, they don't even want to have the conversation. So sort of was just kind of like, and not in these words, but sort of, F y'all, I'm gonna do my own thing because y'all don't really care about this thing. And I just said to myself, Nick, when you offend a community like that, like, and you should know as a Black person, yeah, conversations are to be had, but you can't tell them how to react or that they have to accept your apology. Like if
Right. On
somebody
your
says,
time.
yes,
Yeah.
and so quickly, like if somebody says the N word to me or does whatever, if you, or say I'm a savage or an animal or a monkey or something, if they call me a week later and saying, let's have the open conversation, I'm not going to be open to have that conversation at that point. You have to just
Yep.
accept that, move on. And if I feel like having that conversation later on with you, then you accept it. But Nick, you can't say, well, I said something, I called them savages and animals and they didn't accept my apology right away and have a conversation with me. They don't have to.
Right. And
So
then
neither do
also
we.
like hate speech is still hate speech, even if it comes from somebody you like. So a lot of people were showing their whole behinds coming out in support of their crony who said something really hateful. When one, you can always be quiet, and like you can always like choose to be on the right side of history, because hate speech is still hate speech, even if you like who said it. And just a lot of people who I respect were not deeply upset by hate speech.
Yeah.
And like I said, like nobody's saying like bash your person, because you can have conversations, you know, in private, but you don't have to publicly come out and say this was okay, we rock with you, because it
Yeah.
wasn't okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The next egregious thing is your boy Kanye.
Entitlements. And no, entanglements, not entitlements. I'm tripping. I was thinking of entanglements. Is that where we're going?
Oh, okay, we go. I was gonna go Kanye, but we can go.
Okay, no, you yeah, here, we can go.
Let's go Kanye first. We talked about him. We talked about him last week about him, you know, running for president. At one point, in between this week, it said he dropped out. Then he had a rally in South Carolina, and basically just wilded out. Okay, like he said Harriet Tubman didn't free anybody. Basically took a shot at her legacy, and just went on rambling.
He said really personal stuff about like his wife,
things,
which
yes.
Yeah.
When it came to he started to cry and say he almost basically had an abortion with his first child.
We don't even have to repeat it. It was
he said a lot of things, and like from what I saw, attacked a black woman at the end.
Right.
Listen, I know you are big on his mental health. Right. And that certainly showed itself this weekend. What do you say in regards to this? Like, what do you do? How do you help him? How do you take this in?
So here's the thing. We can't help this man. We have no personal connections to him. Like, I think that I imagine his family is trying. So there's nothing we can do on that. But why I'm so big on like us, like as a community as a whole, like watching how we speak about him when he's obviously not okay, is because Kanye doesn't see it, right? Kanye doesn't see it. He doesn't see like when people make their jokes on Twitter, he doesn't see that. The people who do see it are the people who are also struggling with their mental health. Obviously, maybe not to this effect, maybe not, they don't have this platform, but I don't want us to be so mad at and frustrated at what Kanye is doing, is that we perpetuate the stigma that, you know, it's not helping. Like there is this mental health stigma, and I don't want us to keep pushing that, because in this instance, you know, Kanye is really frustrating us because, you know, we have to pick one. Unfortunately, this doesn't look good. It's not pretty. It's, you know, frustrating a lot of people, causing harm. But I don't want to set us back on like the conversation and how we've pushed forward as a community as far as mental health, because not everybody is a celebrity with this huge platform, but people who are struggling, they see how you talk about it when you really, really don't like the person who is struggling. And he has become an unlikable human being. He, you know, from before we knew about, there were things that Kanye has done that people don't like him. He's lost a lot of fans, right? Especially from in the Black community. Mm-hmm. I just want us to keep the right energy when it comes to how we treat people struggling through mental health issues. See, and
I'm ready to get him out the paint.
I know.
My thing is, I understand mental health struggles, right? Like I don't have, you know, I'm not bipolar. I don't have manic situations like it seems Kanye does. But at the same time, when your condition starts to affect the overall Black community, I don't know how much I can tolerate, right? Because it's like, okay, you, Kanye West, have, even though you've lost some fans, you have millions and millions and millions and millions of fans.
Right.
Some of the things you are saying, they are going to listen to and they are going to take into action, right? You had Chance the Rapper coming out supporting him in his presidential campaign at one point. He said he got up on a hill. He was like, all right, when Terry Crews came through and was like, yeah, Chance, he said, I'm off that hill. But then he doubled down on that hill sort of on the Joe Budden podcast. So I'm
Did
like,
he go? He went
yes,
back? I didn't
it
even
was,
know
it was
that.
like, it was one of those, yeah, but why can't anybody tell me, how does this split the vote? Why can't anybody tell me really why Biden is better than Kanye and etc.? I'm like, so you really still gonna push this? Kanye is as good as anybody, even though you see his mental state. So you got Kanye doing that.
It is like, since when has it become so uncool to read?
He's not educated, and it's like, so
He
you have
had
people,
time to read.
and you said
And
his
you don't have to compare. You don't have to like Joe Biden. You don't have to compare Joe Biden to Kanye. But that doesn't mean that the opposite of that is pretending like this is a viable candidate for the presidency.
like, it's, so you have Kanye with that many followers, Chance with that many followers. Now that's impacting the, that may impact the vote, even though it doesn't seem like he's going to be on the, I know he's not going to be in South Carolina's ballot in most ballots, but still, if he does end up on 25 states, how does that impact things? And it seems like he'd be in red states that normally are red, or normally that can go either way. So now I'm like, yo, I don't have time for this. We're in a real struggle. We're in a real war. We can't have people, regardless of their mental state, coming in and damaging things, because that can affect years. That can affect our kids. That can affect everything. So Kanye, I'm sorry. Like, I know you're going through things, but we have to get you out the paint if this is going to harm the overall community. And let me say one more thing. Like, I know people are talking about his health, mental health. And again, I have friends who've gone through both of these, bipolar, depression, all of that. I've never seen a situation where they go from an Obama supporter to all of a sudden supporting a racist.
You're
Right?
saying
Like,
because you think this was always in his heart.
that's what I feel like. I feel like it can be both. You can be mentally ill or going through mental issues, but still feel that way. Still feel like slavery, Harriet Tubman wasn't that big of a deal. Slavery, y'all should have fought harder. Like, you can still feel that way despite what's going on with you mentally. I really think Kanye is this person now. And because of his mental issues, now we're just writing it off like he's just not that. It could be both.
But that's the thing. I don't think acknowledging that this is a person who's clearly having an episode right now. It appears like a manic episode. I'm not his doctor. I can't, and I almost think it's like a little inappropriate for me to be saying, but only because he's been very public about the fact that he that he struggles, and specifically what his struggles are. So, but I don't think that it is blowing off the harm that he causes by acknowledging that this is a man who is clearly struggling right now, right? And I don't think it's babying him. I do think that we all have a responsibility. And I think, should that interview in Forbes, should that have happened? Was that necessary whatsoever? Or was that just, this is something wild that's gonna get a lot of clicks? Are there journalism ethics that come into play? Because this is a person who, yes, he garners a lot of views, a lot of attention, but this is also a person who is struggling. And if the people who are not at the time didn't participate in this for more attention, and it would go away. I think it would be a private family matter. Yes, he would still be tweeting, but we don't have to talk about it. And that the young woman who, I feel like, how awful it probably was, really embarrassing what he said to her at the end of that rally. But I also wonder, why did she go? We've known, for at least a week now that Kanye is in the midst of an episode. He's not doing okay. She had a very serious question about gun control, but did she really go to a Kanye West rally in the middle of a pandemic to have a serious conversation about gun control with someone who's in the middle of a manic episode? No.
No, it's not smart.
That's not logic.
Even if
nobody
you did,
should have been
smart.
at that rally in the middle of a pandemic. If we care so much about us, nobody should have been at that rally shoulder to shoulder in the middle of a pandemic. Okay?
But
so we all have a responsibility here. And I'm just saying, I think that the reason that this is still garnering a lot of attention, sure, he's famous, but we don't have to participate. We don't have to tell jokes. We don't have to participate. We don't have to make it bigger than it is.
Here's a problem, though.
Huh?
He has legions of fans. Like, that's why it's so frustrating, and that's why it's harmful. Because you're going to have people who are going to listen to him regardless. You're going to have people who want to watch. You're going to have people who, even though they disagree with him, they're still a supporter, and they want to see Ye. Right? So, regardless, it's going to be harmful, and people are going to go. Me and you, smart individuals, may say, yo, this is nuts. Like, let's not pay it any attention. He has millions, literally, that will. And that's why it's sort of like, get him out the paint.
We got to keep that energy on them, not on the person who is struggling, not on his wife. We got, because I hate the whole, like, let's blame a woman for a man's struggles. I hate that. But that's just stuff that I'm seeing online. And I think people have got to walk away, and you can walk away without making fun of somebody who's struggling, without,
And I know you don't want to hear this, but I do blame his circle a little bit, which includes Kim. Like, I do blame them a little bit for.
But even if she wasn't there, you can't make somebody go without, like, short of harming themselves, like actually physically harming themselves or people around them. You can't force somebody into treatment. She can. What can she do?
I think
she didn't.
I think. And I'm not just talking about Kim. I'm talking about Kim along with
his friends,
the people who are setting things up for him. Believe what he's doing and are pushing him out. Like, I don't think everybody around him just like, oh, Ye's just setting something up and everybody else is trying to tell him not to. No, he's setting things up with the help of a crew.
I mean, like, for instance,
friends,
like with Chance,
wife, etc.
You want, instead of like coming on and like legitimizing a presidency, you would want him to, and he also may be doing this behind the scenes, you know what I mean? But yeah, you would want him to be like talking, because he has a direct line, like, how can I help? What can I do? Yeah,
but he's like publicly supporting. So that's what makes me say, yo, these people behind him, they're helping him do these things sometimes. Y'all, like, that's why y'all are getting some blame too. Kim, and again, I'm not just saying Kim and being his wife and a woman. I'm talking about Chance, whoever, and I don't know who's in his circle, so it's easy just to say Kim or Chance because those are famous people I know. But anybody over there, y'all getting some of this blame to me, because I think some of you, because it seems like some of the people who said I'm not, because Kanye keeps the people around that are going to say yes. People like John Legend, who was his friend, was like, stiff arm, publicly, I don't support that. Why don't y'all do the John Legend thing? Hey, I'll try to help you in the background, but I'm going to outright say this is wrong.
Right.
So, hopefully he gets under control, man. Hopefully.
I'm worried that we're taking 2 steps back in the conversation about how we treat people who are struggling with mental health issues. I'm worried that I'm worried about that, like the conversation as a whole, because Kanye doesn't see these comments. The people around you, they do.
I got you. But
okay.
My
but
tolerance.
Do you have me?
My tolerance.
It's small. I understand.
For Ye, not for mental health. For Ye.
I know.
He's stretching it.
You know who else is stretching it?
Mr. Alcina. Listen here, man. I don't even want to stay on this long. Like, I want to end this, but like, I don't understand. Do you know August Alsina has stands? Like, Legions.
They listen.
I tweeted.
I noticed.
I tweeted.
I heard somebody got you together. She talked about your eyebrows.
Yo, she said she said my face don't like my eyebrows.
Defense, but I saw that it just was getting a little aggressive, and I'm sensitive.
She said my face don't like my. I was like my eyebrows. I was like, huh? She was like,
Everybody
your forehead don't agree with your eyebrows.
Everybody has barbs.
You know what I mean? Like one person called me Mr. Mamas. I don't even know what that means. Mr. Mamas? Why you call me Mr. Mamas? I'm like,
but like the joke is like you're on the internet searching your favorite singer's name and then arguing with strangers who didn't feel it was appropriate for him to make this song based off of like this affair he had with a married woman.
Fam, he
and I guess it wasn't an affair because they were separated, but I mean it's weird and it's like it's not nice.
It's cloud chasing. Like again, that's another reason why I don't feel like he was as hurt as he came off. Everything you've done has been for publicity.
You said that it was based on that he was doing this based on what did you say? You said that he was about to like he was promoting an album, and he did promote that album and was like, I'll do you one more. I'm gonna release a single. Yes. I'm gonna hit the studio.
He was dying. He was dying for the Smiths to come out and say something so he could make this song. And I love Rick Ross, but Ross, that was clowning. Like I think you are above that to come on a song and do a bunch of Will and Jada flips and do it for the attention and the clout. And let me say this. A lot of people are saying, oh, he has a #1 album. Oh, you don't need clout. Like, just because you are popular, get attention, or have clout, doesn't mean you don't want more of it. Doesn't mean you're not hungry for attention, clout, etc. So don't give me this, oh, Rick Ross is already popping, or he doesn't need this.
Drake did Tootsie Slide. He made a TikTok song. It's like, you don't have to. What? Drake is everywhere, and he's always going to be everywhere.
Exactly.
He wanted to be on top on TikTok.
Exactly. So to have this attention grab, like, come on, like, and to speak about specifics and, well, alleged specifics. I don't know, the words of the song. I don't know, but to talk about all of that you've done with a specific woman, and for it to be a direct shot. I know R&B singers sing about women and sex, but they don't talk about specific person and say, I did this with you and your man, yada, yada, yada. Like, yo, that's a clown move. Like, it's you're chasing
like, what
attention.
is the beef here? Is it just that they broke up?
I just think he wants the fame. He wants the attention. Every time.
But what is he so upset? Why is he so upset?
Again, I just think he wants attention. I don't think he's that upset.
I don't think he's upset. Right?
I don't think he's that like, if you're that upset, you want to just do it around album time. Like, that's real specific. I'm always going to put out a song, put out an interview, or do something around album time to get more headlines and promotions. Like, you are corny, dude. And he went on Lil Wayne's podcast or whatever. I didn't listen to that.
Oh, I saw that. I saw Lil Wayne's podcast has become.
I've never seen an episode. I've never seen or listened.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you what I describe it as later. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that. But
okay.
Yeah, just give me music, Weezy. I'm good on the interview.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne, but it's just I can't understand or fathom why people can't understand what this is. Like, it's all attention. It's all gross. It's all nasty.
Wild, yeah.
It's like when Ray J put out "I Hit It First." I love Ray J. I love Ray J. "Hit It First" was a banger. He was a trash human being.
No, but it was insensitive, and
he was a trash human being for putting that out. So the same goes for August Alsina. He's not some hurt, emotional child. He's a grown man, had a situation with a woman, and all you are doing is trying to seek attention and get more support and get more money, etc. That's all you're trying to do.
Just to make it clear, oh, sorry about that. Oh my God, sorry about that.
You popping?
Just to make it clear, that was a misstep for Ray J. But separate from that, I am full-fledged Ray J hive.
Oh yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I love Ray J.
Yeah.
We love Ray J. That was a cornball move.
Yeah.
Right? Like August Alsina.
It was lame.
I don't have the love for it, but it's a cornball move. Everything you do is for attention. And that's why I can't respect your emotional, whatever mental state, right? Like we talk about mental health. Mental health doesn't show up just around album time. Like, oh, I was hurting. Album time. I'll talk about it now.
Yeah.
What?
Ugh.
Like he's just.
And he was throwing it out there until he got it, because remember the text message picture last album time?
Mm-hmm. And before that, he did an interview talking about it. That didn't get steam. Then he puts out a song, One Upset. Then an interview with Angela Yee. Boom, got him. Now Entanglement. Listen, man, and I know Will Smith is a classy person, right? Like he's a superstar, so he can't do nothing. But if I'm him, fam, I'm looking for August. I'm looking for 50 Cent. I'm looking for Michael Blackson. Like, yo, it's time to fight. Like, I didn't even do anything wrong in this situation, in this scenario. And I'm getting killed more than anybody. I'm looking for y'all. See me. See me. We got to catch the fair one. We got to do a celebrity boxing match. Remember, I recorded Ali. I did the movie. I did the training. Come fight me. But he can't because he's Mr. Hollywood, $20 million movie man. But that was me. It's go time.
Okay, listen. Thank you for watching.
Brooke don't want to comment on the fighting and the violence.
Please subscribe. Okay, leave us comments. I always surf through the comments and I see you. I write back to you. Let us know, throughout the week what you want us to talk about. We want to talk about everything, so let us know. Check out our podcast. Mm-hmm. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter on Brooke on the Air.
I'm Sean Bell Live. Sean Bell Live, yes. And Zero F's Given Podcast is the podcast.
Yes. Controlling Our Narrative podcast. It's up everywhere you get podcasts. We both have two really great podcasts. I really like Sean's podcast. And Sean's been on my podcast. I've been on his. It's good stuff. Brooke and the Bell. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, next week.
If these people are still acting up, we can't not.
There's always going to be something to talk about.
There's always going to be something to talk about.
I'm sure August will say something again.
I hope not. I really, truly.